All right. In this video, I want to get into a bit of the run game using the run and shoot. And how I'm going to do this is how I like to run my run scheme here is I basically use single back spread, single back trips open, pistol trips open, and pistol spread. This is the main formations here that I will use to run the ball. Not that you can't do it under shotgun, but if I'm wanting to run the ball, I will use these formations, even though I basically, like I said, I always come out in a pass play, but I will use these four formations to run the ball, and I'll show you how I like to go about it. But I'm going to change the package here to strong slots so that I have four receivers. So when I go to single back spread, I can then audible to all of the four formations that I want to use. And before I get into this, what I would like to ask for you to do is, if you like the video, of course you got to watch it first, is to like and share with other people who like Madden, who like football, who like the run and shoot, and share it with them. Help me out and support me if you can with the link in the description box. Uh, I would appreciate it. Trying to get an extra income here to help out with the issues that have been going on. But with that being said, let's get into this here. So when I come out with the single back spread, like I said, I like to come out looking to pass. So usually I would use a play like flanker dig here. Sometimes switch smash, but not regularly. Sometimes the play action slot crosses because I will use a lot of run plays when I use single back. So play action does come in, but it's basically those plays. Now and then I'll use one of these motion plays like 61x choice or 60 go, and now and then mix in a draw. But generally, what I'll do is I'll come out with flanker dig, sometimes with that slip screen, depending on how things are going. Like they're blitzing a lot, uh, sometimes the screen helps. But what I like to do with this flanker dig is I like to run the in routes to the short side of the field, and the switch route is on the open side of the field. But right now, we're going to be in the middle. We're just going to do uh, random. So we're going to have random fronts here. So I'm in the middle of the hash marks, but like I said, usually how I would run this here is this would be perfect if I was on the right hash mark. And if I was on the left half mark, I would have the play flipped. And what's cool about this formation, just like in single back, you can flip it and there's not really a tell at all that the defense can see. Here, since there's uh, three deep, well, it looks like a cover three, could be a cover one, and they have 6 men in the box, I probably wouldn't run it. Not that I can't. And this, I would just stick with this play and not get sacked usually or hit when I throw. But well, let's look at that replay. I was looking over here to Dotson, and you can see he has an opening right. He stops because I got hit, but he's doing a slant right there, and you can see right here he would be getting the ball. And it developed pretty quick, but they still got me. So now here with 5 men in the box, and we have one of the tackles. He's out there like in a three. That looks more like a four technique. He's way out there. What I would do here is either run the trap from this play formation or audible over to the trips and run the trap because it's just a super simple, easy run. They flip, so we're going to flip our run too because you always want to let that DT who's spread out further from the center, you want your pulling guard to hit him so that your left guard here, in this instance, he's going to go after the middle linebacker. So this play should get you at least 5 yards pretty regularly, especially when they're in this kind of alignment. Almost made a play. The pulling guard, we'll take a look. He didn't get a good block here. So let's look at the replay. Becton, here. I can't seem to go to him. There we go. Let's zoom in a little bit. He comes over. They let that guy go free, but you see how he doesn't quite stop him. He almost made a play just because it's football. They got some talent. If you're good and you see that he's got that inside leverage, it's hard to get control as soon as you get the ball, but you can do a little juke to the left and bounce it up this way. But I just went straight ahead, and you can see I got some good yards. But that's when they're only bringing the 5 men. And when we take a look here, whoops, I went right back to the replay. You see they got 6 men here. I wouldn't normally run this, but let's say I want to run it for whatever reason. What I would do is I would actually come over to, I have to go left to go to my other formations here. And we'll go to pistol spread, we'll go counter. Counter is very good when they have a nose. So what should happen is the defensive end over to the left, they should let him go free so that they should get a double team on that, I guess, defensive tackle who is playing the B gap there between the tackle and guard on the left there. They get a double team there, and as you can see, Becton is going to pull. He should hit that end, and it should be an inside run behind the double team. Should. So you get here, and you can see I'm not hitting speed. I'm not really doing any moves, just following blocks, and got an easy 5 yards. And then again here, they want to do this. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll make them think I'm going to a pass play, so I'll audible over to a different formation, but it's actually just another little trap run. Real simple. And it's basically when you see 5 men in the box, you see them line up in a certain way. I see 6 men here. Let's say I still want to run the ball for whatever reason. I could do this zone alert bubble, but I don't really want to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to audible over to the wide zone from the single back trips open. And what I would do is I'm going to flip, and then I'm going to motion this guy out, which will make him line up a little closer to the line to hopefully at least slow down that guy. And what I would do is I look to the edge to see if Johnson is going to block the edge. If he blocks the edge, I'm going to keep going. If not, I'm going to cut up right into that B gap. And if that's not open, I'll cut back to the A between the center and guard there. So let's see if I can actually do this. He got a good seal there, and boom, easy. And yes, when I motion that, let's go back to that play just for a second, just to show you. When I motion Smith, yeah, that's a tell. But that's the thing, is I like to motion him when I do other pass plays. I'll just do that quick little motion. So yeah, you may think I'm doing the run if I motion every time I run. But then like this, I could run it to the outside. All right? So just because they see the motion doesn't mean you're going to do the same run or the same play. If you have a tell like that, you got to make sure you mix it in with other plays so that it doesn't become something obvious. Now, here we got like a wide 9 look. So what would be good is that you can run the trap because both tackles are out wide, and you can run it to either direction when they do this. And what I want to do is I want to run it this way because the center and guard, the right guard, they're going to flow to the left. And that's exactly what I want, because that middle linebacker, you see that he's more to the left. That's what I want. It gives more time for the right guard there, Becton, 77, to get to him and leaves a bigger hole for me. So that's why I'm going to run it this way. And you can see, look at that. It got 10 yards, easy. All right, this is pretty much the same thing. And now I don't have to change the formation. I can stay in the spread. He comes blitzing in. They got a good shed to grab a hold of me before I could get by. Here, I could still run it like I showed before. I did the wide zone. But what I would like to actually do with this one is hopefully not get sacked and hit the play, because against cover one or against cover three, you're generally going to get open there. And again, sometimes even Smith, the triangle there on his wheel route on a cover three. And if I'm worried about getting hit, let's put the running back in to block. And a lot of times you can even throw up. And yeah, I don't know what happened there. I let the computer control it there. Oh, this is definitely, when they do something like this, uh, I can stay in this and do the zone alert and just let it run the ball no matter what. Or come over to pistol trips open, I can run a slam or wide zone. Here, it doesn't, you can tell I've moved to pistol, just something quick, generally up the middle, because they don't really have anybody, because they did a prevent for some reason. You know, sometimes users will do the same thing. Here, doesn't look like the best run. I guess, you know, there's 6 people here. You could still try to do like a counter. I see the nickel is over to the left, so what I would like to do here is come over to spread, run the counter, and I'm going to run it to the opposite side of where the nickel is because there's less guys over to the right. And, you know, not much. Uh, let's look at that replay. You know, Malata is not the fastest guy. So when he comes across, he ends up hitting him, not giving me much space at all. But if he was stepped out a little bit further, I could be able to cut to the right here. You can see there's a gap. I can't go forward, but I know there's a little gap here. That's what this little counter is supposed to do. And if I could control the little mouse here, cursor here, I would run through this way and bounce it out. But it all depends on this linebacker or defensive end. Actually looks like a DB. If he comes in and he comes in fast, it doesn't give my tackle a lot of time to run over there, or my guard here. I got it mixed up. I believe this is Dickerson. He's definitely not that fast. Yeah, he didn't get out there fast enough. Yeah, it's my guard. And if he got out there faster, it would have given me a little bit more room where I could have tried to cut right there. But still got positive yards, even against 6 men there in the box. Here looks like a good opportunity to run the trap this way again. I like it with that middle linebacker off to the side because that's where those guys are going to flow. He blitzed in, which did disrupt things. Now and then, if they shoot the gaps, you know, that could do the trick. We could do this zone alert bubble here. All you got to do is look at triangle, the guy on him. If he comes in playing the run, you throw it. If he doesn't, you just let it run. He's staying out there. You just do a quick run. Easy 5 yards. So you run the ball to get them to respect the run and to get them to play up. Something like this where it looks like a cover 0 here. So what I would do here is I'm going to look more to the left side because I want to throw the ball quick. So I really want to throw it to Brown. If not, dump it to Barkley. If I have time, then we'll look to Wilson. So that's exactly what we're going to look for here. Not exactly sure if all the linebackers are blitzing. So we just got to make a quick decision here. Real quick. Boom. Here, this doesn't look like you want to actually run the ball. You could try to run a counter, but normally I'd throw it. I'm going to try to run a counter just to show you that it's potentially you could, but especially if just one of those linebackers is blitzing or comes running in, it's probably going to mess up the play. But you still can potentially get some yardage here, like this. You know, they just run into the right places, the blocks line up. So if you really wanted to run, you can still run against 6 men in the box, kind of like this. I might actually switch to something outside like this here. But of course I want to run to the other side. And then, yeah, I didn't get much, but that's usually why you run when they have 5 or less men in the box. Um, but yeah, I think this would be good. Even with 6 men in the box, you could come over and do a counter when they have that uh, defensive tackle. He's playing a 1 technique there in the A gap. You have that big wide hole for the B gap. Now my tackle there, Malata on the left, should go after that middle linebacker, and the pulling guard should hit the defensive end. So just like that, you get some yards real easy. You know, that's if things work the way it's supposed to. Sometimes your offensive line isn't that good, whether they're not aware, they're not quick enough on the pull, they're just not a good blocker. Then and they got good guys on their defense, they can blow up the play. But this is how it's drawn up and how it should work if you got at least can match their talent, right? But if you're sending some no-name bum guard to pull and then go after someone like Myles Garrett, uh, there's a good chance he could blow up the play, right? Just because, talent makes plays, right? Here looks like another cover zero. So what we do is look for the quick, and I wasn't quick enough. I was trying to let the middle linebacker get out of the way so I could throw it to X there. But here, bad pass, got hit, but that was open. Here can easily just do the trap again. When sometimes that's what happens. The computers flip, so you flip with it. Boom, easy, right? Next time that formation comes up, that won't work. So let's run this again. He played over the top, so he played that well. I was just trying to get the play over. Okay, like this. Okay, let's say we run the trap, and let's say we run it like this now. We're going to run it with the DT closer to the center. You'll notice that it's not the best thing to do, just in case you're not aware of that. This one still worked out, but it doesn't work out that smooth. At that time, it worked out, but not that well. Here, you could still go over to that counter, but with that linebacker right there, you might not have that much of a space to run. But Malata might be able to push him out of the way. He looks small. Maybe that's a DB. Maybe he'll flatten him. But you see, like, there's nowhere. Now, if the linebacker was back in that position, you could get through. Here, you can still run it. When they have like 6 men like this all on the line, it's usually, you don't always want to pass because a lot of times you'll have a free rusher unless you have your running back in there, right? So if we do something like the zone alert bubble, we can do that play, wide zone, a slam, or wide zone here. I wouldn't do a counter. I wouldn't do a trap play where anybody's pulling. You could potentially do the speed option. For fun, we could try that. But what I would actually do is I would stay in the same formation. And a lot of times you get decent yards when you run against a formation like that. And let's show why you don't do a counter. I mean, sometimes this works, but let's go to a counter. Did I do a trap? I think I went to the wrong play. Let's go to the spread. Okay, now this would be a good place to run it right here, where you got that open B gap there. Over here, let's flip it. This is why you don't run it to a closed off B gap. You see the DT right there in the B gap between the right guard and right tackle. So you see here, it worked, but it's not always going to be consistent like that. You could do it here. but we don't want to run to that side. You run to the open B gap. They got 6 men in the box, so that could ruin things, but you see how there's just a lot of room when you run it right against the right kind of alignment. But again, when they have something like this, 6 men in the box, like here, you see the DTs are spread out, you can run a counter to either side. But since they have a lot of people in the box, you take this opportunity to try to throw it. And I just assumed he was open, so that was robotic throw right there. Uh, this time we'll try not to be robotic. Just dump it off to a playmaker. See, now they really don't want. The triangle was open, but I didn't have any time. Looks like they all out blitzed. Probably should have possession catch that to protect him. Here looks like an all-out blitz. So let's just run at it. Oh, I don't like how that guy is right there. Let's see if pushing him up helps. Because if he can hit that guy before he runs in, the guy right on the edge there, if he can hit him on that angle right there, it could lead to a big outside run. And he does. But he got pushed back a little too far for me to get around too easy. But let's look at that replay. You see, I was hoping he would hit him, and he does. But for some reason, there's a double team, and Johnson, he's a little too far back. So by the time I get here, I have to go way too far out, down, and it gives time for, you see, that middle linebacker to follow me all the way over there and meet me. But if Johnson, if he didn't go after him, he went up here to the next level. I think that would have gave me enough room where I could have been cutting up right here where he is. I could have been cutting up already and at least got some yards, been able to make a move on this guy, potentially to get bigger yards. But, you know, that's what I'm saying is sometimes it doesn't always come out the way you're hoping it would come out. Here, if I would probably pass, right? So let's do that. Yet they rolled, and I'm sacked. Seems like I have less than 2 seconds, a good chunk of the time in practice. Sometimes it's better to run even when you can't really run that well. But here, we can run if we want to. Not a good choice, but yeah. Even when they're blitzing like that, that guy's coming down, we can still run it. This is a good just to run it no matter what kind of play. Like, I'm not even going to look to throw it because I think I got that double team. That other safety came down pretty quick. Wasn't expecting that. Maybe it was a cover 4. I wish you could look at the last play the computer did. Here, definitely easy run. I think you're getting the gist of this. I'll run this last play, and then we'll go over to some shotgun runs that are pretty cool. But this is if I want to run the ball. Let's go to audibles. I can do single back spread. I have 2 runs here. I have 2 runs in single back trips open. If I go left, I can go to pistol trips open where I have 3 run plays. Or I can go to pistol spread where I have 2 run plays. So you can see that I would run a lot out of these 4 formations. But again, I come out with a pass play because I'm looking to pass all the time. But if it looks more favorable to run, I'll take advantage of that to get them to have to focus on the run so that I can pass it. Right? But anyway, let's go to shotgun here. Which is, the running is a little bit different because you don't have the back right behind you and you're not under center. This formation, obviously, you're not going to do too much running unless you do a draw or the quarterback blast because you got 5 wide. Where do I don't think I want to start with this formation. Let's go to trips and my audibles. What are my audibles? Speed option and draw. Okay, since I got draw, let's come out in the quick base. Just so I have 4 runs. Let's do a random play here. Quick base. You can run it to this whether the DT is out like that, so let's do it. They got 5 men in the box. He didn't really engage with that middle linebacker. If he did, might have been able to get a few more yards there. The DT is lined up right on the guy on the left guard there, so it's like a two technique. You could still run that, but for some reason he's not engaging in that block. I guess I should have bounced it to the other side of him. I want to get one where it's the opposite, where the DTs are switched there. I don't know if I'm going to get that. I'll try a couple more times. I'll just switch to another run if they don't line up that way. All right, here. Definitely would look to pass. But when you have something lined up like this where it looks like they could easily come after you, we can do the speed option. Right? So what you do is you come out here, you hard pitch it, so you hold down the button so that it's a good throw. The guy was definitely coming crashing down on me. Let's try that one again. You see the P option there? You basically watch him. If he comes after you, just hold down L1 so you have a good throw. If you tap it, you might throw something bad. It's happened to me. So I just hold it. And if not, I just run up and slide. Usually get like 5 yards if I have to run with the quarterback. So it's like this. He's playing me. Quickly throw it out. And you can get some big yards. Even when they have a bunch of men in the box, you can run this play. Like if you really want to run it. And here, well, let's leave it on the quick base. I'm trying to go slow. I'm not even hitting speed burst. Trying to like bet and hit somebody. But yeah, not working. Mid draw, I like it right here, where you have the DT play on the running back side. He is in the A gap because you get a little double team here. I don't like to run it when the line is the opposite, where you have the DT playing the B gap on the running back side, doing a draw like this. But you can see here that lines up pretty well. The guy just got off the block. This is another good opportunity to actually use the speed. Right, they're clogged up there. You got that one guy on the edge you got to worry about. You watch him. He's playing me. Toss it out. They got everybody up the middle. Easily get out there. Right? So, I like running out of this formation in the shotgun. Close, I have the same thing. I got the speed option in an inside zone. Come over to weak. I got the off tackle and the mid draw. This is not normally where I'd run an off tackle, but we'll just run it to show. You try to go outside, but when they cut it like that, you just take the B gap and then you look to the A gap, but not normally when I would run it anyway. And then I even got a counter here. This would not be a bad place to use a counter, but it's also not a good place to use the counter because they got the 6 men in the box right there, and the guy on the Smith you can count as a 7. So not the best, but you can still get it if you have that B gap area opened, and it wasn't really open. The linebacker there blitzed, filled it up. But yeah, if you get the good lineup for the counter, let's try that again. You can run this. Because the guy's not filling the B gap, it's better if that guy's not on top of the right guard, but he's more in the A gap there between the center and guard on the right. That would be the best time to run it, but you can still run it like this. Just the pulling guard didn't hit. You see what I mean? Is if it's drawn up right, you can see. I mean, if it plays out the way it's drawn up. Let me go to the guy. Alright, it won't let me go to. It just skips over him every time. There we go. You see, he comes over here. And my goal, since I see that middle linebacker, is for some reason he just turns like that. If he hits that guy, my goal is to go right here, right in between. Right? Between the double team and his block. And I get some yards right through here. But since he does that, I'm hitting the backfield. Like, he does not do his job. But you can see if he blocked him right here, I could have cut right where I was trying to cut right here. Went for no gain, but that's because of, you know, bonehead play there. Here, now I can actually run the blast here. You see, when you got that DT in the A gap there, it should work out where the double team and the right guard pulls over and gets the linebacker over there. And there you go. I should have hit the speed boost sooner, but you see how that blocking worked pretty well. A counter can work good here. Whenever you got a nose tackle, you got that 3 down lineman like that, you can run the counter, but doesn't mean it's always going to work. The Commanders got some good run defense. That's why I put them on here, because they got Allen and Payne there. But here, I think I got some other run plays here. Yes, I got a couple of RPOs that I can use. Normally wouldn't run, again, with 6 men in the box, but they have nobody over on Smith, so obviously that's what I'm going to do. Real easy there. Whoops. I forgot I got to go this way. Oh yeah, I got the speed option. Let's go to draw on a quick base as well right here. Again, let's run the quick base. I just noticed that I got another advantage here. And their guys aren't really getting their blocks. So let's look at the replay and show you how it should have worked out. You see Dickerson should hit this guy. He does. Becton right there hit him, but he doesn't. And if he hits him, I have space right there. But not only did he not hit him, but Dickerson didn't really hold his block. And you know, sometimes that's what happens. Your guy's not as good, or the other guy makes a play, and you get a yard, right? But you can see that if Becton hits him and Dickerson holds his block, you can see right there, there's a hole for me. Matter of fact, if I was good, I could even bounce back. Wish I could control this thing a little better. Wow. Why does it jump? You can see right in here, I could have cut back right there. But, you know, easy to say in hindsight. So, again here, I would be looking to pass it. But when they got a bunch of people in the box, in shotgun, I like to do these speed options. And you get some big plays. You see, like, every time I do it, I get, like, 10 plus. Here looks like a good place to do a counter. Flanker close, spread. Let's try it. Just every time I motion to this play, you can see it brings a lot of people right there. That's just Barkley being Barkley, because they blew up the play. Let's actually go here. Let's try off tackle a couple of times here, just to run it to show you. So ultimately what you want is to get obviously to the outside, but you have to watch your right tackle if he actually gets the leverage. Like if he gets his helmet on the outside helmet of that linebacker, defensive end there, that edge player, then you go outside. If he doesn't, you cut inside. And then you look at the guard. If he gets that outside leverage, you go in the B gap. If not, you go to the A gap. So we go here. He guts. I will look at the replay. I went to the right hole, just they filled it, and I'll show you. Johnson, you see he's going to push him just out of the way, so that B gap's open. There's a double team here, so they definitely got the seal, so I just need to go up that B gap. I guess right there, I should have just went up to the A gap, but I was just kind of set in my ways. And that guy came in and filled it up, and they closed it up. But right here, I should have had better vision and juked into there. But I saw he had the outside leverage, and I figured Becton was going to hold him, but he didn't hold him. He got pushed. Again, sometimes that's what happened. You start to expect something from your players, and they don't actually do that. Well, let's run that one more time, and we'll end the video. Just, I feel like doing the off tackle. He gets that seal there. Boom. I just bumped the guard. If I didn't bump him, it would have been better, but still 5 yards without even doing anything. Oh, it's even better when they shift like that. He gets that leverage there. But, yeah, that's that. So running out of the run and shoot definitely can be done. Just got to be more patient than I am. Sometimes you better vision. Sometimes you need better players. And sometimes it's just running against the right things. Like right here, 6-1 in the box. They got a single high. You probably should pass it, right? And so if you're going to run it anyway, well then you shouldn't expect anything big. You know, if you do, awesome. You either got a talented team or you're talented or both. But what you should do is take something like this and go, hey, they don't have a lot of people right here. I'm going to run it. And I didn't used to use draws, but I use draws a lot more now that I use the run and shoot. Also doing something like screens that sometimes when they have a lot of people in the box and you're just not comfortable throwing it for whatever reason, you just be an extension of your run game here. But that's that. That's that for the run game. Out of the run and shoot, very simple, basic. All the runs are basically something you audible to. I know here I came out in a play, but that's just to show you this certain play right here. And because I don't have it in my audibles. But outside of that, with run and shoot, you're picking a pass play. And you only run the ball if they give you a favorable look that you're comfortable running against. And if you just want to, right? You want to run the ball for, I don't know, some stats to get them thinking about the run, to set up the few play action plays that are in this playbook. For whatever reason, wear out the clock or something. What, you know, that's when you audible to it, but you don't ever come out and run play it. It's like the 93 Oilers. They come out, if they see a favorable formation, favorable people in the box, they'll audible to a run. And Gary Brown, when he came in, was just destroying defenses, running all over them. And the run and shoot is a pass-heavy scheme, yet he would be having 100+ yards like every game. Because anytime you were worried about the pass, having full receivers out there, they would run it. And it's basically pass to set up the run, get them spread out. The run works very well. I get a lot of good yards. I get a good average, not just average yards per game rushing, but also rushing average yards per attempt. Actually a pretty good run game for a passing system where you look to pass and you just take the runs where they give it to you. That's why I like the guards being power guards. Like I have Dickerson and Mekhi Becton here on the Eagles, even though, you know, sometimes they made some bonehead plays. But practice always works a little bit differently. You probably know that. But anyway, with all that being said, Thanks for watching. Take care. If you're not saved, get saved. Because time is almost up. As I know from experience, I did not think my wife's time was up. And uh, the cancer took her. We, we both thought we had more time, but we didn't. Now, thank God she believed the gospel and she's saved. But you, I don't know if you do. And God forbid your life ends today and you're not ready to face judgment. So I recommend you accept Jesus' sacrifice in your place, where he takes on your condemnation to death and hell on your behalf. Because we're all condemned for our sins, our sinful nature, and our impure intentions. Where the only reason why we do good in the first place is so that we won't go to hell and we go to heaven, right? We do it for a selfish reason. Like a lot of things we do, yeah, there might be some love there for our fellow man and some for God, but it's generally for ourselves. We think it makes us less deserving of hell and more deserving of heaven, but it doesn't. Because when we're selfish like that, that shows that we don't deserve heaven and that we do deserve hell. And we don't think that's fair because our standards are a lot lower than God's standards. So we judge God for being unfair, but in reality, it's just that we have very low, shitty standards that we think God should uphold, when that's not the truth. And we need to accept this so that we can give up our lives to God at the cross 2,000 years ago and accept his judgment of us, but accept Jesus taking our place, carrying out the sentence, so that we may be born again, that we may be sealed with his Spirit and joined onto him, being one flesh, one bone, and one spirit with the Lord, that we actually have life because we are partaking of his life in exchange for ours. And we have his righteousness covering us, so when we are judged, God sees Jesus, who is perfect, who did what he did for us, where he gave up heaven and embraced hell so that we wouldn't go to hell and so that we would go to heaven. Complete, pure intentions. We get covered with his righteousness because the way things are looking, things dealing with Israel, dealing with the economy, dealing with the technology, getting ready for this mark of the beast and the digital currency, a one world currency, one world religion, one world government. It's all getting set up. They're getting ready to tear this system down. And if you're not born again, you're not going to be escaping what's to come. And you're going to have to suffer and most likely die to going through what's to come. So you can't say you weren't warned, because I know I'm not the only one putting this stuff out there. And again, if you can support doing my ministry, this is just a small piece of my ministry. This is just something extra I'm doing to try to reach gamers, trying to reach football fans, because I'm also enjoy those things. You want to support and help reach others. You want to help me do that. Please go to the description, check out the PayPal link, and help me out any way you can, or share with people who can help out. With all that being said, thanks for watching. Get saved if you're not saved. Enjoy the football while you can, and share with other people who enjoy the run and shoot. And enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.